Welcome to the CEO Corner on the Fanatic Mindset, the exclusive segment where we chat to South Africa's CEOs about their most defining leadership lessons. On this inaugural segment, I'm joined by Lunga Siyo, CEO of Consumer and Business Segment at Telkom. Lunga started his career at BP South Africa, where for 6 years he was groomed in a culture that set him up for success. As a result, Lunga was intentional about selecting positions that would hone his commercial and leadership skills. Today, Lunga is known for transforming Telkom's Yellow Pages business into YEP, South Africa's biggest digital marketplace. He is also credited with leading Telkom's consumer business through 11 consecutive growth quarters. Beyond the boardroom, Lunga is deeply anchored in family, coming from a family of a father and uncles who set a great example for the husband and father he is today. He is the quintessential dad to 2 girls and a devoted husband of more than 15 years. This is Lunga's story.
Hey guys, welcome to the Fanatic Mindset, another season 2 episode, and today I have an incredible guest. I am so honored and so excited, even a little bit nervous to be honest with you. Today my guest is Lunga Siyo. Lunga, thank you so much for coming. Thank you for honoring my space. I'm saying it right, ne? Lunga.
Yeah.
It's a silent G.
No.
It's not?
Yeah, no, it's not.
What is it then?
It's close as well. You have to hear the G, it's Lunga.
Lunga. Yeah. And my best friend happens to be Kosa, and she's like, "What are you doing? What are you saying?"
Exactly.
Okay, but I think so. I'm married to a Zulu guy, so we have a silent G. Like every
Zulu,
time I say Langa, he says no, it's Langa.
Yeah, it's not silent.
Ilanga versus Langa. Is that not silent?
Okay. Yeah,
you get me? Yeah.
There's different variations
of this thing, ne?
I don't know.
So guys, Lunga is the CEO of Telkom Consumer and Business, and he happens to be my very first ever corporate CEO guest, and I am going insane inside. I'm so excited. And what we're going to talk to Lunga about today is his journey of how he got to where he is, but most importantly, how he's been able to stay at the proverbial boardroom table, which I think, Lunga, for me, the lesson I've learned from being in corporate is getting to the table is actually not that difficult, you know. Staying at the table, for me, happens to be the most difficult part of corporate journeying. So let's first talk about Lunga Siyo in the context of the role at Telkom. Tell us a little bit about that role. And then I want you to tell me about Lunga Siyo in his entirety, because I know there's wifey. I love wifey and babies, and of course all of that contributes to the Lunga that we see today.
Yeah, geez, man, that's a tough one. Where do I start? Maybe let me start with Telkom, right? So Telkom it's a group of companies, right? I think about 3 of them. So we have a consumer division within Telkom, which is the one that I run. It actually services both consumers and small businesses, and also enterprise customers. We also, that's where also the mobile business is located. So it's part of that BU. It's the largest BU within Telkom, possibly contributing close to about 60% of revenue, or bottom line. I think top line revenue is 50%, bottom line is about 60%.
Okay.
So it's huge, and it's been the growth engine for the past 5 years, actually.
Yeah.
And we also have an IT business that services enterprise customers, which is BCX. And then we have the largest infrastructure company in the country called OpenServe. That's where all our fiber assets are housed. We have close to about 180,000 kilometers of fiber across the country. And we've passed possibly over 1.4 million homes with fiber.
Sure.
And we close to about, we usually say we close to about every home in South Africa within a 5-kilometer radius. So literally, if we wanted to connect a home, we can connect it. So that's what we have. So that's Telkom.
So sorry, can I disturb as you go along? Is that the size of the infrastructure? Is that partly because of the legacy that Telkom has? I mean, you have a lot of your competitors just getting into the market now, but Telkom has been around for as long as some of us have been around. So is that what has brought so much accessibility, if I can use that?
You can say that, right? Maybe it's possibly the endowment that we inherited. The Telkom is over 200 years old, by the way.
What?
So it was founded in what year is it now? 20 something, right? But 200 years.
Yeah, 18 something.
18 something, somewhere around there. My maths is not nothing today.
It's a Saturday morning.
It was part of the Department of Postal and Communication up until 1990. Yep. In 1991, they then corporatized Telkom as an entity within government. Right? And fast forward to around 2005 or early 2000s, then government decided, you know what, let's go public-private. So they literally floated half of Telkom and into the stock exchange, both New York and Johannesburg. So Telkom today, as much as it's a state-owned company, government owns 40%, but for all intents and purposes, it operates like a private company because of the listing requirements, right? Because you've got investors and they want things to be done in a certain way.
Yes.
And luckily for Telkom, government sort of allowed it to be just private.
Yeah.
They literally don't play that much role.
Sure.
Other than being a shareholder in essence. So you've got an endowment of an infrastructure and also an opportunity to operate differently from most state-owned enterprises. Basically being allowed to raise capital and actually really attract the best in the industry in terms of people. But, raise capital easily, via JSE and also other financial institutions. But what you also need to do is to actually invest in the right things. So as much as we were endowed with this infrastructure, we literally had to modernize it. So it was copper. So now we have fiber. So there was a deliberate strategy to invest in fiber around 2010, mobile and also by IT business. If you go to Telkom pre-2010, 98% was largely out of copper.
Yeah.
That was the revenue.
Okay.
Out of copper.
Okay.
Today, copper is only 4%.
Sure.
So it's actually, it should be a business school case study if you're asking me.
Definitely.
Pivoting from old into newer technologies and still make money. And create a sustainable business. So that's Telkom.
Yeah.
And that's where I find myself today. In such an entity. Sure. And helping to contribute, create a much more sustainable business going forward. So you ask me what is Lunga in that? I'm a family man. I've got a wife.
A very pretty one.
Just one for now. I'm just kidding. She'll kill me.
She won't kill you.
And I have 2 kids as well. So they're my life, right? The Telkom is not. I just happen to work there. I love my job, but I love my family a lot more. And they sort of anchor me and bring me down to earth. And so I've been fortunate. That
you're definitely a girl dad, though. You're the dad that buys flowers.
Yes, I do. Yeah, I don't know. At times, you feel the pressure. Being surrounded by girls and also women, it's, I kind of enjoy it as well.
I was about to say that. Being a girl dad means the attention is always on you. As a young man, do you have siblings? Were they brothers, sisters? Is that how you became such an incredible dad?
I think I have cousins, possibly more than 15, right?
Okay.
At the same age group.
First cousins?
Lots of. So from my father's side, he had about 4 or 5 brothers, I think.
Okay.
And all of them ended up having boy child. So
wow. Sure.
Actually, we don't have a lot of females in our family.
Okay.
So I was surrounded by, a large family, very loving as well, very loving. And I think the father figures in the famy played a key role in showing us what is it.
What it is to be a good dad.
And they actually just did it naturally, if I may. Because to them, it was just who they are. So you saw a lot of that, and then it sort of, was ingrained in you as a person. So
even though they were fathers to boys, they were still able to kind of demonstrate.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I mean, my I mean, my father used to take my sisters to school on a daily basis every day.
Sure.
And it's something that also just happened for me as well. Because I saw him doing it, and also others as well within the family. It was, I mean, participating with, in your kids' school activities, taking them to school, making time for large events as well, for family gatherings. It's something that I picked up from them. When you're surrounded by that, I guess you also
that's who you become. That's who you become
as well. Yeah.
So, when I briefed you, I said the Fanatic podcast, the Fanatic Mindset Podcast, has primarily been telling stories of people who are entrepreneurs, people who have stepped away from their careers, corporate careers, or people who are hustling or doing a hustling business. Like our last guest, for example, she's still in corporate but has this incredible business. By the way, guys, remember Umzi is sponsoring the shoes for this episode. So,
okay, am I going to get the shoes as well? Okay.
Anyway, they only do female shoes.
Oh, okay. Maybe they must have a male version of it with me, right?
They definitely should. So, one of the things that I think I noticed is maybe a gap in the conversation, in the Fanatic Mindset conversation, is the conversation around, individuals who are looking to get to a place where they can too be CEOs. Because not all of us have the same ambitions in life. So some of us want to be really successful business owners, and I think entrepreneurship is a big thing because of the unemployment rate. So people are just solving it for themselves. But you still have those people that are hardcore corporate people who want to have corporate careers, who want to be the Lunga CEOs of tomorrow. So I want us to talk about the journey.
Okay.
The first question. Was it always something you wanted? The CEO seat that you now sit on?
I can tell you, no, not at all. Absolutely not. I mean, all of us, you start careers because you want a job, right? You get a job and then you're going to get paid for it, but then you quickly realize, actually you've got to start doing well in this thing, otherwise they'll fire you. So I was actually, surrounded by people that were very, early on in my career. I worked for one of the big oil companies, BP, and I'm happy to talk about them because they really shaped who I am, right? They high performance company, literally were prioritizing performance over everything else, and if you didn't perform, they'll cut you off, right? But they'll spend a lot of time, developing young talent to make sure that you become who you want to be. So that really shaped me. Right? However, that time it was always a plan of, so how's the next 2-3 years going to look like? Right? How's the next 2-3 years going to look like? And I'd work towards that. And at some point that changed into, actually, potentially I could be one of the business unit leaders, right? And that's when you realize, you've been putting a lot of work into it, and then people start recognizing your talents, and they start also telling you that, you could go far, right, if you just put your mind at it. But, work hard, do certain things, develop yourself, become a better leader, and actually, during that time, that evolution, you also see people leaving corporate, starting businesses, becoming entrepreneurs. And you'd want to do the same thing as well. However, the corporate bug was like literally just there before I could jump. Then
I love that you use that word, the corporate bug, because I believe in the corporate bug. And when it's bitten, it's bitten. You can step out of corporate for a little bit, but it has a very powerful pull.
It pulls you back. Actually, up until someone set me down and say, stop trying what you're doing, right? You either here or you step out of it and start something new. But let me remind you, actually in corporate, you could potentially become a professional businessman. You are trading your skills. I love
the concept of a profession.
Salary. You're not invoicing, but you're just getting a salary. But you're also trading your skills and capabilities to a corporate. So you are a businessman. So think of yourself as a businessman and start developing yourself as a businessman, and link your own ambitions to that of a business. So if a business wants to grow, you also want to grow, then grow the business. You are a businessman.
You know what's interesting about that? And it's obvious because it's obviously shaped you a lot. The few conversations we've had, the one thing that remains top of mind or that keeps coming out that you say is about the numbers. The business has got to make business, the business has got to make money.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, I don't often get this. I mean, CEOs do talk about business making money, but you talk about it like it's your own business.
Absolutely. Because when you marry the two, then you don't feel like it's a job. Actually, something else must happen before. You've got to like the industry.
Okay.
You've got to like what you're doing.
Okay.
And because initially it starts about, no, let me just collect a check. But at some point you get bored. And then you want to jump to another check, to another check, to another check. By the time you know it, I've seen people earning so much money by the time they're 30 with zero skills or capabilities.
Sure.
And you rock up at an interview and we can quickly pick up. Okay, there's no depth, there's no experience.
There's no depth.
There's no depth, there's no experience. You've just been chasing the check.
Yes.
So you haven't developed yourself. Even business people do that. So you might have been a marketer, starting a marketing business. You quickly have to develop HR skills, finance skills, all these other capabilities.
As you would if you were in your own business.
Exactly. You need to do exactly the same thing in corporate as well. So that's how growth comes. It comes at the back of developing yourself to understand the full value chain of the business. And it gets to a point where I was like, actually I could run a BU.
Yeah.
Then what's the next step for me?
Yeah.
Oh, I need leadership skills. Oh, I need to be a better leader. What does that mean? What's the difference between a manager and a leader?
Yeah.
What is it that I can do to do that?
Yeah.
And then you literally just start working towards that. But let me also tell you something that I think I didn't tell you before was someone then said to me, listen, you gotta start projecting now. At 35, you must be at a certain level. If you wanna run a BU, maybe use that as some sort of
stepping stone.
As a yardstick that when I'm 35, I'm either reporting to someone who runs a BU or I'm running a BU.
So in other words, as you would in a business, and you make a plan for yourself that says, this business right now is making 200,000, in 5 years time it needs to be making $1 million. That is exactly the kind of thought process you've got to apply to your career. Okay.
And when you get given an opportunity to run a, let's call it a P&L, or you've got a commercial role, and it usually has revenue targets. So you actually literally said, if this business that I've inherited was generating 10 million, in 2-3 years, I wanted to generate 30.
And it's got to be personal like that.
It's personal.
Like it's really personal for you, I can tell,
It does, because then that's you're literally writing your own check, your own success. Then when it gets there, your own personal growth will literally mirror your business growth. Because then someone is going to say, whoa, so this guy can run a business. Can you come and run this part of the business? Or can you actually lead this large part of the business as CEO? And they're like, are you sure you're talking to me? Like, yeah, you. And it's that simple.
I just had such a big light bulb moment, and I've never quite heard it said that way, and I've been in corporate for a long, long time. I've done leadership programs and but you just said your business growth, as your business grows, so should you.
Yes.
Oftentimes, and I've been in some businesses that have failed phenomenally, even within a corporate environment, you can see that this business outgrew its leader.
Yeah.
And that does happen, doesn't it?
It does happen. And sometimes leaders grow and the business fails as well. Because don't get trapped in an idea of I have to succeed at all costs. Sometimes you might inherit a business that is bound to fail.
Okay.
But it's how you actually manage that failure. Right? So there's something in business called, you could run a particular, so it's like an old product line.
Yeah.
That people are migrating away from.
Yes.
So how do you manage it to the last rent?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
How do you, over a period of time, but while you're doing that, how do you create this new product that's going to replace the old one and start doing that?
Yes.
Now that process is the scary one, because you're literally running something that's failing. People are not seeing the success because what you're building, it's still new. It still has to grow. Now, seeing that through over a 3-year period is daunting. One, it's stressing, and people usually jump and leave it. They jump ship because they don't want to become part of this failure. So you're not being patient enough to see what you've created. Someone else jumps in and literally just picks up from where you left off, and they take the success as if it was theirs. So because you want the business to grow, and you think when the business grows, your personal growth as well will follow. Now, when you get given what I call hospital passes, right, a business that's going to fail, you want to test yourself as a turnaround person, as a strategist. So you have to push yourself to the brink and limit, where you literally fear that you'll be fired at any point. Now, if you have balls of steel to actually see it through, oh, it feels so good. I promise you. It feels so good, I promise you.
Wow.
Not many people like to do that. So people need pick jobs, and they want to make sure this one will make me successful, but you're not testing your limits. And others that are leading businesses, your CEO might actually say, okay, this one has had it easy, or only likes, the softer roles, right? So when there's an opportunity, someone might say, we haven't seen her getting tested. So maybe she's not ready as yet. Right? Now, a lot of people are always in corporate, will always complain, I didn't get a job because they say I'm not ready. What do you mean? I've done 1, 2, 3.
Yes.
But what you forget is a business needs a certain type of leader. You might not be fitting the profile because you haven't allowed yourself to pick up a particular type of skill, where you've turned around a failing business, and they're looking for someone who's going to turn around this failing business, and you are not. Doesn't mean that you're not adequate or good enough. You are, but they're just looking for a different profile.
Sure.
And so you got to test yourself, and it's like in business, right? You test new areas. So you've been selling in a particular geography. Now you want to go, let's say you were largely Gauteng based, and you're like, okay, let me go to Cape Town and expand. You don't know the territory. Your chances of success might be very low. But someone who's been there, done it, even if they've failed, they actually have a different skill to someone who's never. Because success is not a good teacher, failure is.
Whoa, that's a high five moment. Success is not a good teacher. Failure is. That is, and I mean, I want you to tell me about that statement. Is it something that has led you, or is it something that you've learned over time? And is it something that you reflect on often when you're sitting on your own, drawing the map to Lunga's next 5 years?
I think for me, it just came with the back of experiences, right? Where I've realized that if I look back, I've learned a lot more on many failures that I've had than the successes.
Sure.
Now, obviously, successes usually have done something really good. And I mean, let's not.
And they feel good.
They feel good. But after a while of doing a lot more of that, you literally you stagnate. In essence, because sometimes you're just doing the same thing that actually works.
So tell me about those failures.
I won't be specific. I've been thrown into a deep end. Right? So maybe for starters, my own personal growth, right? It at certain moments. So I mean, I worked for one of the telcos, right? MTN, and when I left MTN and joined Santam, it was a role that was higher than where I was. Literally, I reported to someone who sat on Group Exco, and it required different skills that I didn't have. And I remember asking them, why me? They said, well, you've got certain commercial and business skills that we want, but you will learn the technical side of this business. That's the easy part. We're looking for business people. Oh, that tested me. And we literally had to work in an agile format, and we tested a lot of products that actually failed, and we had to iterate and move quickly. But you learn out of all of those ones. You also learn managing people that don't report to you.
Oh yes.
Now executing to others is a skill. It's tough. People always go for the easy road. No, let them report to me so that I can build it.
Yes. So I can
so that I can bully them to do the job, right? But you have to influence others.
Yes, I was about to say this is now leadership through influence, not leadership through control.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yes.
So now that's something new that I had to learn.
Yeah.
Because failure teaches you to become much more innovative and try new things and try different things and push yourself because you want to see this thing through to its logical conclusion and you want to see it succeed. So I've had many of those different ones.
So let's talk about BP because I think it was kind of your first big corporate role or dance with corporate, if I can put it that way, but it was also a very not even strategic but very important time in setting your foundation.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Actually, you've put it such nicely that it was a foundation of who I've become. Actually. And I only realized later because they were so ruthless in how they grew their people and developed them, and they held everyone to a high standard. And I remember Ken used to say to me, Lunga, you got to be proud of your work. Even the email you write, read it and make sure the English and the grammar is proper. Don't just send an email.
The first step must be in the right place.
Exactly. Don't just send an email. You must take pride in what you do. And I mean, I called it a corporate university.
Wow.
I went to school and got there. University just tells us that you are teachable, right?
Yes.
That's what a qualification is. You haven't earned a skill, or you don't have the competencies yet, but technically you understand, right, what needs to be done. So then you have to be developed so that you can develop skills and build competencies and become a better leader. And BP did that for me. They threw me into different roles. I had to swim at all times. And I was young. I mean, I must give kudos to a couple of people in that business. I mean, Denise Ojel, she was my first manager. She just looked at me and said, listen, I think you can do this. And good luck, by the way. And then she left. And I would see her once a month, but she's like, okay, where are we with this? I'm like, oh. But she gave me an opportunity to grow quickly as well. There was a guy called Trevor Ely as well. He was the regional manager here in Gauteng, and Trevor pushed me to the brink. He's the one who actually helped me transition from finance into a commercial role.
Yes.
Actually.
Because you studied accounting.
I studied accounting.
Yeah.
So I was in finance, and he liked it because he was also an auditor as well, by the way, but he was running a region as a sales
which
person.
Is a people thing. Yes.
Yeah, he's like, listen, come in, let's do this together. He gave me that opportunity and he pushed me. He never took no prisoners. And there was a couple of others that were mentors as well, such as, Sipo Maseko as well, Alpheus Ngubo. They mentored me properly. They actually really encouraged me. They're the ones that actually instilled a belief that you could be something much bigger than where you are.
Yeah.
That was beautiful.
So that was beautiful. And would you say, because I think we've come to a point where these terms are really formalized. Would you say that this was mentoring, coaching? Was it formal, informal?
Yeah, some of it was informal.
Yeah.
I spent a lot of time around them, especially weekends. Very important.
Very important.
When other kids were going to party, I was watching football with older people and actually brag meat for them.
Wow.
But you learned a lot out of them as well. And that developed into formal coaching and mentorship from some of them.
Okay.
When I could actually feel comfortable that, I can have a conversation with you. I can be vulnerable. I can tell you what are my fears.
Yeah.
I can ask you the stupid questions.
Yeah.
And that helped as well. That helped a lot. But I think really navigating yourself around corporate evolves around, we call it networking. But just don't use the word networking.
Yeah.
Just find yourself in those areas, right? And socialize with people. You might pick up a lot.
So now you met these great guys, but they actually still show up at different points, even past BP, right?
Yeah.
And that's where I think you talk about having a sponsor.
Yeah, absolutely. Because everyone moves on, right, to different roles everywhere else. However, people remember people that they worked with. That actually delivered something. So there's doing a good job, but there's also delivering something, right? And people usually work on trust, because sometimes, I usually say when you're recruiting for leaders, right, you can advertise and get 1,000 CVs and shortlist to 5. But for a very senior role, you possibly might want someone that you're also familiar with, because trust is very important. And trust comes at the back of, I appoint you and I leave you to do what you need to do.
Yeah.
And I trust that you're going to do it. And I'm going to see you next quarter. Now, if I don't know you, and I've just seen you now, and I think you're really great.
Yeah.
The first thing that's going to happen is, okay, I need to be close to this one up until I develop a certain level of trust before I can literally leave you to it and actually be able to sleep at night that it is actually happening.
Sure.
So every leader wants that. That's why people that you've worked with, when they move around, they always think of, oh, Lunga used to do this. Or when someone is having a conversation that I'm looking for this particular type of person, they say, maybe think about this guy or that other guy. Hear the names, look at them. And that's how you find yourself in other jobs. Because that usually, you benefit, from the past relationships.
I see. So can I ask you a controversial question?
Yeah.
Is there no point at all in applying for those LinkedIn roles that say CEO?
No, there is. You should, right? At times they are. They might have looked at everyone they knew and found no one.
Okay.
And then they advertise.
Okay.
And then now it's a question of who's going to be the best.
Yeah. Right? Okay.
And normally you must always remember, when you've been shortlisted, chances are all four of you are similar.
On paper, at least.
On paper.
Okay.
On paper.
Yeah.
What really sets you apart is maybe how you tell your story in the interview, but they also connect the dots as to, okay, what is it that you actually like, that you actually deliver. Right? Then they have those really conversations, and then from there maybe they pick you, right? So there is merit in actually applying for them. It's not always the case. Sometimes they do, pick people they want. Because for certain senior roles, that's why they find executive search.
Yeah.
And, those will give you maybe the best two candidates.
Yeah.
And they'll have a conversation with those two candidates. Because remember, what they're also testing in leadership is if you're building a team, you need different types of people, personalities, right? Skill sets. In most instances, you can get the skill sets easily. The softer stuff is the most difficult one. So you possibly need a certain type of leader, and you might be testing candidates. Which one will fit in well in this team that I'm building?
So the cultural aspect.
The cultural aspect.
Okay.
And the fit as well. Sometimes you need what you call a sweeper, right? Someone to come in, clean the entire thing, and leave blood on the floor. So don't quote me. Come, clean, sweep, leave blood on the floor, and off you go, right? And then someone else is gonna come and clean the blood and rebuild the team, right? And now that's a different type of a personality.
I get it.
Right?
I get it.
You sometimes look at those things as well. So sometimes when you don't get a role, don't feel hard done or inadequate. It's because maybe you just never fit the profile.
It's the muscle that they're looking for in that point. It's like a soccer team. Yeah.
It's like the soccer team. Not all 11 players are the best players.
Yes.
No, it doesn't work that way. You want a team, not a people.
A people. Ooh.
Right.
A team, not a people.
Yeah.
So I want to ask you one last question about BP before we transition to Yellow Pages. So you spoke a lot about, BP was a high performance culture, and I think that word is overused, to be honest. I think a lot of organizations call themselves high performance cultures, but you go in there and you're like, To what extent, especially in today's world, are people sometimes misunderstanding what a high performance culture is versus a toxic culture?
Yeah.
Because everybody's talking toxic cultures at the moment.
Yeah.
But is that sometimes misunderstood? Is a high performance culture sometimes misunderstood to be a toxic culture?
No. When you have a toxic culture, you have a toxic culture.
Okay.
When you have high performance culture, you have a high performance culture.
Okay.
Right. High performance is different. So, and maybe toxic culture comes at the back of the type of leader that you have. Right. So if you go back to leadership, in the 60s, it was largely the time of production, manufacturing on the floor. You needed a certain type of leader. I call it command and control. Right. These days you don't need that. Actually, you need a different type of a leader. So when you find a toxic culture, you find a leader that's possibly still trying to be a leader that we used to see in the 60s. And it could be the culture of the organization because we need people like that, right? Top down, command and control, this is how we do things here, and that's the culture they have. Now they say that this is how we do it to make sure that everyone performs. So it is high performance that they're trying to establish. But how they go about doing it creates a toxic culture.
That is so important, and I think it's important because literally it doesn't matter whether you're on TikTok, Instagram, LinkedIn, everybody's talking toxicity and workplace bullying. And I've really, I've spoken on it a lot, but I've asked myself, what is that line between when you're being bullied and when you're being pushed? Yeah,
absolutely.
Let's transition to Yellow Pages. So you get a call.
Yeah.
What does that call say? Here's your hospital pass. And maybe let's explain to people what that is. It's such a corporate term. What does hospital pass mean in corporate?
It means it's a job that no one wants to do, right? Because this thing could be in an ICU about to go to a morgue. Right? So you got two options. You can actually fail and it goes to the morgue and we bury it, or you can transition it back into a ward and then the patient gets better and it's back at work, so at home. So when I got the call, from a recruiter, I said they're looking for a CEO MD role for a medium-sized business in the telco space, but / advertising, but they're looking for someone who's done e-commerce, digital, and you fit the profile. I said, hey, I hear that all the time. What's the name of the organization? I said first, you said COMD? Are you sure you're talking to the right person? I'm not sure if I play it in that space. They're like, yeah, we are.
That's what we said.
That's what. So, okay, that's interesting. But which organization? I said, no, let me tell you what they want to do. And then they do the selling. Blah blah. Said, ask you a direct question.
That's when you're being executive searched.
Yeah.
When they are selling the job to you.
Yeah. So I said Yellow Pages. I said, hell no. Yellow Pages. Do they still exist? The book? No. They're like, listen, the book is in ICU. They need someone to bring it back to the ward. I said, this is possibly going to be my biggest challenge if I get it. So initially I said, no. And then a couple of people that are close to me, that were close to the process, called me and said, listen, young man, this is what needs to be done here. This is how we're thinking about it.
That we were talking about.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So maybe do listen to them.
Okay.
So I did, and I went through the process, so got the job, and it was a hospital pass. You're like, what is this? But you also, I think I was also talking to you about, sometimes jobs gives us security, right? And when you have a new challenging opportunity, you possibly don't want to take it because it might disrupt what you already have. So remember, you might have changed the house, might have bought a new car, your kids might have been in a different school, and you fear failure because you're going to lose what you have, right? And when that consumes you, you're actually ready on a will fail. Or you can just pick cushy jobs and never develop and progress as well. So this one was like, you know what? Wifey,
I'm taking it.
Let's talk. This is how this one looks like. So I might make it or might not make it. You gotta battle your seatbelts because I am taking it because I'm bored where I am. To be honest with you.
You're now needing that mental challenge.
Yeah. So I took it and it taught me a lot of things. It taught me a lot of things, and I had to quickly operate at a very high level that I was not used to. And that's when you realize, actually, I've got it in me. Because if someone picked me and said, you can do this, and I'm actually doing it, even if it doesn't feel like I'm winning, but I'm actually engaging at a board level, at a proper exco level, I'm being held to account for the entire thing now. Not just my department. It's the entire company. And I have to deal with different stakeholders, unions. And you quickly can realize that you need to right-size this organization. And that's the most difficult thing. Now you're talking about people's livelihood. But you have to balance people's livelihood with sustainability of a business.
Of the business.
Because if you do nothing, there will be no business. If you do something, there will be business.
And eventually more jobs will be created.
More jobs will be created. Hence now from Yellow Pages to
Yep.
Now we can talk about yep because the business still exists.
Yes.
Might not
I
be.
get you. Oh my God, you've created such clarity around that. It's because I think, particularly if you've been through right sizing, as you call it, and you've been, kind of your job's been cut and you've gone through that process. It's difficult in that moment to see yourself as having contributed to the growth of the business.
Yeah.
In that moment, you've lost your job.
Yeah.
But what you're saying is the compromise of losing your job creates jobs. Because it will create jobs in the future because the business is sustained enough to do that.
Absolutely.
I wish we could see it that it's hard.
It's hard.
It is hard.
I mean, it's also hard for me personally because, we've moved from X number of people and I knew I had to cut at least by 60%.
Yo.
So it was either I would do a death by 1,000 paper cuts or we go big bear. So that you right size and start creating how a business of the future would look like. And I had to sell that story to people, but I also realized these are real people with families and they're supporting a lot of livelihoods. But being a leader, you're called upon to make such decisions. That's why I had to grow quickly. I mean, I became great. I have never so quickly. But what kept me going as well was the belief that I can actually see this, that it might turn around. And I also believed in the much wider strategy of what Telkom had wanted to do in servicing small businesses better. And I thought I could become part of that change as well. But what also helps is anchoring yourself with family.
So your purpose is beyond the job. You're doing it for something bigger and better.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. I get that.
Well. When you do get frustrated, you sort of talk back to your family.
Yeah.
It also helps.
Yeah.
That they're there supporting you.
Yeah.
You gotta do things now with wifey, with kids, and it takes you off this and then you back again.
Yes.
You still believe in it and you're still pushing it. Yeah, and then you start seeing what I call green shoots, right?
Yes.
Pockets of success. And like, okay, it's turning around. Oh, okay. Now
does it really feel like that as a CEO? I often think to myself, the CEOs are always the guys that are just, holding them,
in front of
you
people.
can barely get a CEO to smile these days. They're just, and you're like, look, we've got numbers.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
But does it feel like
it feels for me? So someone taught me, don't try to have multiple personalities. The work one and your own, right? And that's
be you.
Yeah, because that's what creates toxic culture. Because you're trying to be someone that you're not, and you bully people, and you literally have to dial a different side of yourself. When you go home, you feel so tired because you've been acting the whole day. You're the old job, but you also had another one called acting job. So when I became myself, I became the smiling leader, and I shared a lot of success, and I started saying, guys, look at this, maybe let's hold on to this as well. But remember, when you're transforming businesses, there's always people who won't buy into the strategy, and you have opportunities to either get rid of them, so to use those words, or you actually allow them to be in the business and hope at some point they'll join the trade. Right? So you take those that are creating success and run with them and use them to become almost like an instigator of positiveness in the business. But people like success.
Absolutely. Everybody wants to be part of a success
story. Once they see there's a particular team that's being successful and pushing, and then everyone wants
to join that team. Yeah.
So you have to celebrate success. But I also struggle as well personally because I sometimes would stress a lot. And my wife would say to me, you know what? It's never gonna stop. Just have fun.
Just have fun. Just let your hair down. Yeah.
Be happy that it's coming.
So then you get this hospital pass, and you literally turn the business around because as you say, it was Yellow Pages. Now there is no Yellow Pages, there's Yep. Which is essentially a marketplace, right? A virtual marketplace. And what does that success do? First of all, how long does it take, and then what does it do?
I mean, we were fortunate and also unfortunate. As we're doing it, we knew that we wanted to cover different customer segments within the entire group and actually have one large BU focusing on servicing small businesses. And then COVID hit. Unfortunate, but the fortunate part is that it accelerated our e-commerce ambitions. So we literally had to launch a lot of new products quite quickly to pivot the business, but also to pivot how small businesses traded. So then the marketplace started picking up nicely, easily to scalable levels. But I think for me, what's much more important is transitioning an old legacy product into a new one, and then still creating a business that is sustainable. It might not be at scale where we would want it to be, but it exists. But still exists. It still generates income. It still generates value for small businesses. Actually, it's at a better spot to even scale further.
Start to scale
a lot more.
And I mean, if I link that to what you've said around success or celebration, I think it's the ability even to celebrate those small wins, as you've said. Like, yes, it's not where we thought it would be. Yes, it hasn't scaled yet, but it's just at the precipice of scaling. And so it's still worth celebrating because that's how you get people then.
You know what I celebrate the most is now and then, because now it's a small part of the business that I run, and I still see people that I started with in that business in 2018 in the building. And one of them came to me and said, "Hey, Mr. Siyo, I need to tell you something personal. In 2019, you said to us, we'll create a sustainable business. And if you're part of this, you still have a job in 5 years." And she said, "I'm still here. And now much like part of a much bigger business, and I'm doing something completely different from what I used to do. And thank you." Thank you for what? She's like, "You made me believe that there could be something."
Which is exactly what leadership is you created a vision that they believed in, right?
They're still part of it.
And they're still part of it. So then you transition, because of this big success with Yep, to you keep transitioning within Telkom to bigger roles. What was kind of the next big thing? Was it this consumer role? Because I think it used to just be consumer and then became consumer and business.
It was. Before 2018, it was consumer and small business, and then 2018 I joined, we did Yellow Pages, and then we broke down the business part of consumer, and out of PCX, and then we formed SMB, which is what I ran after Yellow Pages, and then Yellow Pages became part of that. It was basically one of the largest SME businesses in the country, and I think for me, then there were group changes, and I think how we were also recruited was to fill up succession as well within the group in different roles. So when I got appointed to the mobile one, and we'll call it mobile because mobile drives the business.
It's the driver.
It grew so much during COVID. Literally, as I was joining, it was starting to taper down. Now you're the guy. So you've got this graph, and then it's tapering down. You come in here, you have to find a new source of growth. And I'm like, I can't be unlucky again. No, not another one. I was like, okay, but it was big. It's a big role. It is a big driver. When I got appointed, a lot of people said,
"How are you going to do it?"
I remember the ladies from Investor Relations, Babalo, sat me down and said, "Lunga, what's your story?"
Because we're going to have to start telling it.
And he grew. What's your story? I said, "What do you mean what's my story?" He's like, "Well, you can't move from 20% growth to 2%. Why are you putting me under pressure? Like, well, it is a pressure job. You've got to find a new source of growth. And actually, I had to dig deep again and find myself as to what's really going to happen. And literally, a year after, we collapsed as a group, Telkom. And that was literally maybe 3 years ago. And we literally had to impair some assets. And
is that when the tower was sold?
No.
Or was that part of that decision? Oh, okay.
Before,
the tower was
3 years ago. We literally had to impair some old assets and we went into a loss making. It was not a trading loss. At a trading level,
it still looks fine.
Now you're part of that leadership. We're so stressed, so under pressure. And everyone is like, okay, so how is mobile going to pull out of this? And leadership gets tested. You have to create a vision. You have to galvanize the troops towards that vision, and you're also thinking at the back of your mind, maybe I should jump. Now,
I'm not going down with this.
No, you're competing against MTN and Telkom, larger balances, and they're cleaning the market. And we literally had to turn that around. And I'm telling you, if I look at today, we've grown 10 consecutive quarters. Right? No, 11. We're going 2 years now of growth and beating the industry.
What? I was about to say that.
So I'm on year 4 of this job. First year, collapse. Second year, started turning around. Third year.
It felt like, it really felt at some point like Telkom had come out of nowhere. for me, and I mean, maybe because I'm so married to corporate, I'm always interested in seeing what's going on.
Yeah.
I was like, where did these guys come from? For a while, you know, there was that big ad, the you remember that? You know that ad is still masterful. And then Telkom was kind of like, and then but it didn't feel stable, if you understand what I mean. And you were part of the, as you say, in the last 3 years and even before that, the leadership team that has actually stabilized Telkom. How does that feel? I mean, does it ever occur to you?
At times it doesn't, right? But what I can do share is possibly the biggest opportunity, and possibly feel you feel a little honored that you've been part of that process. Right? It's the most difficult one. I've worked for largely matured organizations in a growth industry. You're just growing, right? You might not be growing, you know, with bigger margins, but you're just growing, right? Literally, sometimes you can take leave and the business won't.
And nothing's going to happen.
Right? Now, when you are working for Telkom, you're fighting for your life every day because you're transitioning a business that used to sell copper, which is your home telephone. That has to compete in mobile. That has to compete in IT. That has to compete in fiber. Yeah, maybe fiber was not that competitive, but it is today. With lots of people having fiber access. But mobile, you're a non-starter against the two biggest ones in the continent with lots of money. IT is difficult to sell. Now you're part of that process. You see the failures, the ups and downs, and then on the other side it starts doing this. You're like,
what?
Hallelujah. Nobody will ever take this.
Nobody can ever take that away from you. That's that becomes part. You know, when they were asking what's your story, that becomes part of your story forever. So there are probably going to be lots of young people watching this who are in corporate. And I said that this is partly why the Fanatic Mindset started. Who are saying, I know I want to be a Lunga. And I wish he could mentor me, because mentoring and coaching are a big thing. But the reality is we don't have enough leaders to mentor the numbers of people that are. What would the things you could tell them if you were sitting in front of them? What would they be? What should their focus areas be?
Geez, it's you know what's interesting is that it's actually well-known stuff. It's basics, right? You must, if you're given an opportunity, make sure that you do it so well. Don't just do enough. Don't just do enough to stay above water. Do more. Do more. Seek roles that will really, really challenge you. If you want to be a CEO, as an example, make sure you always position yourself for commercial roles where you could help an organization generate commercial value, just generate revenue. Sometimes they call it P&L type of roles, but it's not always P&L. Sometimes you just have the revenue as a target. Right? Push yourself and see if you can run either a department or an area or functional area, because that will give you skills that you'll never attain in any business school. That's just theory. Now you're getting practical as to how you create value. So you have to position yourself for those type of roles, but also have a plan. Have a plan as to what you want to achieve 2 years, 3 years. That's what I'm saying, it's basics, right? Make sure that you're progressing. You're not progressing financially. Do not chase cash. Chase building a skill and a capability. Because you compete better for every role when you have that. If you're competing on, you guys are on the same salary, that's why you find yourself in this interview. Because sometimes that happens, but you have nothing to offer. You're not going to get the job. Right? And it's actually going to limit you going forward. But I would also say choose the industry and the company well. I've seen superstar leaders and CEOs going into the wrong industry and fail, and it destroys them. It actually talks to every type of role. Choose that wisely. And how do you choose that? What are the chances of you succeeding in that particular role? You speak about toxic culture. You have to check quickly, how's the culture there? Because don't think you're going to be the superstar and go and change it. That will make you fail. So that's all I could say to youngsters today. And like I said, failure is a huge teacher.
It is. And one last question before I say thank you. why is it more difficult for women to stay on the boardroom table than it is for men? Or is that just an illusion?
I think it's an illusion, but I don't know. It's difficult for anyone to stay at that boardroom, right? It's difficult. You have to navigate politics. You have to navigate different stakeholders. But someone said to me, forget about what you think is politics. Just focus on why you're there. If you focus on why you're there, which is to deliver value, if you lead in a business, lead a business. The politics will happen around you.
Okay.
Don't participate in them. Just stay focused on why you're there, then you'll stay longer. And there's 2 rules there. Do nothing, you'll be fired. Do something, you might just have a story to tell and keep your job. Even if it works and it doesn't work.
Yeah.
Because leaders are required to make decisions and calls and actually see them through. If you do nothing and play politics, you will be fired. That's for sure. If you do something, even if you don't succeed, you have a story to tell and they'll allow you to do something else again because you are executing.
That's amazing. Lunga, thank you. Thank you. I am honored that you spent an entire hour talking to us. I am excited about seeing how this episode is going to do, but most importantly, I think I am excited that people get to see a human leader, because sometimes we look at us executive leaders and we're like, I can't even talk to him, I can't even wave at him. But thank you for showing us that there is humanity behind leadership, and that at the end of the day, you're just a dad with girl kids and a husband that loves his wife.
Absolutely.
Thank
you very much for having me as well. Very honored to have taken the time to come and share some of my experiences. Like you say, at the end of the day, I'm just a family man. Thank you.
Thank you very much.